My name's Jason Alon from the band Let Live, and I'm here to tell you about the time that I have this story that I tell people about the time that I became like a believer in the supernatural, at least while on tour. And it's this story about this venue called The Rave in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the reason, a lot of the accounts have been confirmed and corroborated by my brother, who is like very high up in the police force in Milwaukee, and he's told me about these stories about people dying at this venue and accounts that he's heard, and he's had to take calls there because of this. And one day we were there playing with Under Oath. It was the first time we toured with Under Oath, and we went searching the venue, ended up in the walls of, like literally inside the walls of the venue, after getting ourselves inside of this like Saw 2-esque room, you know, where they're like, he's gonna cut his leg off. So we were in this room that looked like there was, okay, now it sounds like I'm embellishing it, but it looked like blood. It looked like blood on the floor and on the walls. Could have been like old Jello, but it looked like blood. And there was one random chair in this room, and it was a low ceiling and like super hard, like really hard concrete walls. So you couldn't hear anyone scream in there. It would just completely cancel the sound if you tried to scream. That's where we started our trip. Ended up through the walls and up the top and in this ballroom. And I remember walking across the middle of the ballroom, and the reason I know it's the middle of the ballroom floor is because the sound guy from Norwich, actually, Dan Halen, a legend of a guy he's one of your own. He told me this is the center of the room, and this ball represents the center of the room. It's for acoustics, blah, 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 whatever. I walk over it, walk on stage, walk back, and there's no, there's a balloon floating that clearly wasn't there the first time I walked. And then my best friend who used to tour with us, he was really freaked out by it. I looked at it. I was kind of freaked out by it after all the ghost stories and accounts that we made. And then he told me, he gave me his knife that he used to carry with him because he was a Boy Scout, not for any other reason than that. And he gave me his knife and told me to pop it. I did not pop it. I spoke with the balloon. I told it to give me a sign to see if it was really being controlled by some spirit. And the balloon, I'm not making this up, you can ask the other people, I'll bring them next time on this fucking camera, and they'll tell you that the balloon dropped, but it didn't hit the ground. It just hovered above the ground. And then I said, okay, you know what, there's crosswind, barometric pressure, things could be weird because we're a little higher. That's science. I still don't believe it. And then everyone was freaking out. People were leaving the room because they were freaked out. And as I began to say, you know what, if it's really, it would happen again. If there's really something, it would happen again. Sure enough, the balloon rises, and it doesn't leave the middle of the floor. That's the fucking scariest part, is it just stays there. It just stays like this. And then I started to realize that, you know, it looked like it was kind of being held. Everyone freaks out. We start to leave. I'm not freaked out. I'm actually really interested, but it's also strange. As we leave the room, I'm not kidding you. Again, I'll bring everybody to corroborate. I swear we'll do it. We'll put a YouTube story up. As we're leaving, the balloon is following us, but not just like this, but as if someone is walking, stepping with the balloon, a little hand like that. Okay, it could have been a big hand. I don't know. I couldn't see them. But it's real, it happened. It did. I was in an airport in Perth, Australia, leaving, and I believe it was Josh actually from Yumi at 6, ran up, and they were all like freaking out. And I thought, oh no, like something's wrong, or for whatever reason, you know, we need to leave. But they were like, no, we just saw, and they were out of breath because they'd been running. Like, they were like, we just saw Stevie Wonder. And I thought it was a joke. Like, I thought they got together and were like, hey, we heard that Jason really likes Stevie Wonder, and we're gonna tell him that he's here, and then he's gonna run like on the tarmac and get arrested. Or I thought they were fucking with me. But sure enough, they like looked me in my eye and assured me that Stevie Wonder was at the end of this like big walkway thing. And I got up, dropped my bag, took my jacket off. I remember this, took my jacket off. I was like, I'm gonna go see him. And I ran, like I've never, this is the most embarrassed I've been talking. I ran after Stevie Wonder, and I see the doorway, you know, the entry to the gate, and he's about to make it to the ticket taker, and I see the back of his head. My dude's bald and he's got the big braids coming up the back, looking like a Sith Lord or something. And I ran up and I stopped him, and he was with two women, and I was like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry." And then to Stevie, I said, "Look, I just want to say thank you. You are such an integral reason for me being an artist." And I just kind of like kept going, and then he goes, "Hold on, man, what'd you say?" I told him that my dad had played with him, and he goes, "Hold on, man, what'd you say your dad's name?" I was like, "Oh, blah blah blah, Elon. He played with you, in the late '70s." And he goes, "I think I remember that tour with Marvin Gaye." I was like, "Yeah, that's the one." Anyway, and he's, "What's your name?" I was like, and I straight said to him, I said, "That doesn't matter. Like, my name doesn't matter. Like, I just want you to know that there's another artist right now in Perth that is here for very many reasons because of you. And I just want to say thank you."